Hi everyone. Something pretty different today as opposed to my standard live builds that are more targeted and focused. Today I'm going to be sharing what my game plan is around building out an AI infrastructure that goes beyond just a singular agent into a more multi-agent focused setup where a lot of these multi-agents are running autonomously with a degree of specialization. One of the things that I've come to learn is that general purpose agents, although really powerful, will suffer from the jack of all trades, master of none. So my game plan for evolution is to move from one general purpose agent into multiple agents. There's been quite a lot of interest and hype around tools like Paperclip that allows for you to build multi-agent setups, right? They call them like companies, if you want to call it that. Now, I think a lot of that is overkill. And for a lot of it, you will find that it lacks the depth required for each of these agents to really be functioning autonomously to deliver real value. So for me, when I think about building out my multi-agent setup, it is not to build something that just looks nice and works on the surface, but is able to deliver value in my day-to-day life. And it's going to use a lot of the concepts that I have used to build my first agent, my first general purpose agent called Alfred. And today I'm going to be sharing with you what that infrastructure or that architecture looks like. Okay? So not teaching so much, but rather just showing you and giving you guys a sense around how things all link up together and what we'll be developing in the coming weeks. So, like what I was saying, I have Alfred, which is my AI chief of staff. So this is agent number one, right? I've been continuously, progressively building and improving over the past 9 months, really. Has been pretty transformational in terms of what it's able to do for me, for my personal life as well as for my work life as well. Now, Alfred currently lives on my MacBook Pro, and I have since split or fragmented Alfred into two modes. The partner mode, which is where the engineering behind the agent is designed for a two-way engagement for tasks that are more related to thinking, reflecting, and project management. So really, this is the engaging chief of staff that knows everything about me and helps me get through my life loops, as I call them, right? So that's daily stand-ups, daily wrap-ups, weekly planning, weekly reviews, and compounding a lot of those insights and reflections that we have to help me get closer to my goals. And a big part of my engagement with Alfred has been collaborative. And then there are aspects from which I will hand off to Alfred to go and execute separate sessions or sub-agents, right? What I've since done is I have deployed Alfred in an autonomous mode where the engineering is designed specifically for autonomous workflows, even long running workflows that go for multiple hours. And currently, what Autonomous Alfred does is it prepares daily briefs. It manages my context. My first video on this channel was about building a self-sustaining context engine. So Autonomous Alfred does that every single night. Any research tasks I basically delegate over to Autonomous Alfred to do, and then it lands in my vault. And then it basically tracks my health data via my Whoop and keeps all of those data points fresh so that I can analyze them on a weekly basis. So this stack in terms of the autonomous things that happens on a heartbeat is growing over time. So I'm no longer needing to manually do a lot of these things myself. So as a continuous build on the autonomous suite, all of this lives on my Mac Studio. And within my Mac Studio, I have machine level documents that Claude Code will read that enables all of these agents to run autonomously. So that's the Claude.md that gives instructions around how to function in an autonomous way. So I'm not having to interact with it to multi-shot prompt towards an outcome. Its own Claude dot plot folder that has got skills that are universal. So the reason why you would move over your autonomous agents to a Mac Studio is so that you can leverage things like browser usage as well as computer usage, right? So that's where things like the Playwright MCP comes into play, and it's not working in the background while I'm using the machine, right? But what I'm basically building out here is to say that I've got Eve and Adam. So these are in the space of content as well as finance. And each of these agents have their own behavior and capability stack. So when it comes to Eve, Eve is responsible for the content loops. So what that means is that it's got a content-centric output style. It's got skills that are content-related. It's got hooks and automations, or rather hook triggers that are specific to Eve. And when it comes to scripts and APIs, all of them are unique to Eve. And that's to say that certain things that are within Eve, Adam doesn't need, right? Because their domains are so different. And all of them, Alfred and this entire autonomous stack, all of it reads from the same place, which is what I call the vault. Think of the vault as the repository of all my knowledge that is gathered through my life, right? It's my second brain. It is what my agents have inherited from my practice of using Obsidian for many, many years. I can't even remember how many years now. So it has access to all of my experiences, my notes, my reflection, the stuff that I've learned over time. I recently upgraded the knowledge map and wiki section with Kapati's approach to knowledge management. That was a fantastic piece of the puzzle to upgrade. So let me know if you want me to do a video on that. But yeah, all of my context documents live in here as well. My knowledge resources, so things that I have researched over time. So all of the research from here goes into this space. And then obviously it's a repository of all the outputs. And the reason why it houses all the outputs as well is so that if I need to view anything, I need to edit anything, I can do so via Obsidian. And some of the interfaces that Obsidian allows for us to use, things like bases, which is great, which leverages front matter for us to view things, right? And then it obviously has got links to my iPhone via Obsidian Sync. So, you know, a simple workflow could be me delegating a research task over to autonomous Alfred. It then gets pushed up to the vault in terms of the output. I can then either view it on my computer, or if I'm going out for a walk, I can view it on my iPhone. So largely the parts that have been built is the vault. We've got Alfred in both partner mode and autonomous mode. What we need to be building over the coming weeks are Eve and Adam, and they will be taking care of my content loops, which are now currently handled by Alfred, right? So I'm going to be building a lot of these things from scratch. And my game plan right now, being a channel that's more focused on build in public, is to show you guys the meat and bones of getting these agents spun up from 0 to 1 to maybe even 5, right? I don't know where it will land, but these videos will be longer, as most of my videos are. It won't be so dense in terms of education, but it will show you all of the meat and bone steps that I will be taking in building a lot of these agents from 0 to 1. We'll start off with Eve, and then we'll see where we go with Adam, and over time I'll be looking to expand more of the team. Basically, with the teams assembled, a lot of the things that I don't normally have time to scale would be handed over to them to scale, because they are all autonomous. That's why I call them loops as opposed to two-way engagement. We'll have loops that will have me as a part of the loop, but 80% of this should be running on its own with gates, right? And that's basically what the intended outcome is. So I'm really excited to get this up and running. The first video should be up in the next couple of days as I get into building this entire multi-agent AI infrastructure. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And that's it for today.